Hello students, today we start the new chapter, that is stoichiometry. So in this chapter mainly we do many number of problems based on chemical reactions. Okay, the chemical reactions are taken in the form of balanced equations and we continue the problems. So again we use the two concepts. We use the two concepts in the solving of problems. So what is the first concept means? There is a mole concept. Sorry. So the first the solving problems we use the mole concept problem. For simple problems it is better to follow the mole concept. Okay, so for example, if you take a simple reaction H2Cl2 and forming of HCl. So for every chemical reaction, we need to proceed the problem after balancing it. So here simply here 1 mole of hydrogen forms 2 moles of HCl. Again 1 mole of chlorine forms 2 moles of HCl. Okay, so then and by comparing the moles and with help of a balanced equation we are able to calculate about the product to reactant to product. So కొన్నిసార్లు comparison between the only reactants. For example, we are explaining this example. Here 1 mole of hydrogen reacts with 1 mole of chlorine and forming 2 moles of HCl. ఇదొక ప్రొసీజర్ ద మోల్స్ కంపేర్ చేయడం. ఇప్పుడు 1 mole can produce 2 moles of HCl, 1 mole of chlorine can produce 2 moles of HCl, or so only reactant side compare చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. So 1 mole of H2 react with 1 mole of Cl2. So this comparison, this comparison is important. For example, more than one products ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, so we need to compare the products also. Next, so not only mole concept and just not only comparing the simple moles, sometimes it is given in terms of volumes, in terms of mass, okay, in terms of numbers. For example, 1 mole, if it is given in terms of volumes, we know that 1 mole value means 22.4 liters. So it also forms 22.4 liters. Then it forms 2 moles means 2 into 22.4 liters. ఇక్కడ we can compare the moles or so one problem base చేసుకొని దాంట్లో moles or values. For example, sometimes we need to compare in terms of mass. H2 mass, 1 mole of H2, ఎప్పుడైనా 1 mole H2 అంటే 1 molecular weight. So 2 grams of hydrogen forms. Cl2 means how much? 2 into 35.5, that is 71 grams. So that is again 2 into HCl, that is 36.5 grams. Means here 2 grams of HCl, sorry, 2 grams of hydrogen gas. 2 grams of hydrogen gas can form how much HCl? There is 73 grams of HCl. Same 71 grams of chlorine can form how much HCl? 73 grams of HCl. Like so 2 grams of hydrogen can react with how much chlorine? So 2 grams react with 71 grams. So like this we have to compare the number of moles or the volumes or the masses. Sometimes the mixing of these concepts also takes place. For example, ఇది grams లో ఇచ్చి ఇది liters లో ఇవ్వచ్చు. Okay, so ఇది moles లో ఇవ్వచ్చు. Means all similar terms లో ఉండొచ్చు, different terms లో ఉండొచ్చు. So based on the information given in the problem, so దాన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని ప్రొసీడ్ అవ్వాలి. బట్ అన్నిటికీ కామన్గా స్టెప్ మాత్రం at STP 1 mole equals 22.4 liter. 22.4 liter nothing but 1 mole is equal to what is the mass? Its molecular mass. Okay, means on the mole concept you have to get a perfect idea to follow this. Okay, so for this I give you the general information. So first mole concept law, the main condition is at STP So and we know what is STP is the standard temperature and pressure. So what is standard temperature? 0 degrees Celsius, 273 Kelvin is treated as the standard temperature. So what is standard pressure? So 1 atmosphere, 76 centimeter of Hg, 760 millimeter of Hg. So these are useful in the problems. This is called STP conditions. At STP conditions, what is 1 mole? At STP condition, what is 1 mole? We have to remember this relation throughout the chapter because total problems on the mole concept based on these relations. So write the every point on the board. See now 1 mole. So 1 mole equal to, so now what is the value? 1 mole equal any gas, whatever it is. 1 mole equal 22.4 liter or nothing but 22,400 milliliter. So milliliter is nothing but numerically equal to cubic centimeters. Okay. Next 1 mole equal to, what is the number? It is equal, we know Avogadro number, that is 6.022 into 10 power 22 units actually. Units means molecules, the molecules, atoms, the atoms, whatever it is. Units. Next, what is the mass? Mass equal to, for molecules it is equal to molecular weight. Molecular weight for molecules. So for atoms it is equal to atomic weight. Okay. So 1 mole of atoms weight equal to atomic weight. 1 mole of molecules equal to molecular weight. 1 mole of electrons and 6.022 into 10 power 22 electrons, whatever it is. 1 mole of gas volume is 22.4 liter. It is totally irrespective of gas. Here atomic weight, molecular weight and మన gas base తీసుకుంటే. So if you changes the gases, the values will change. But there is no change in these values. నువ్వు ఏ gas తీసుకున్నా సరే, any compound తీసుకున్నా no change in the 6.022 10 power 22 Avogadro number and 22.4 liters. Actually this number, sorry, this is 23 not 22. 23, this is also known as N naught, sometimes capital N and sometimes Avogadro number Na. Okay, so this is a value. So we need to remember these relations to proceed this chapter. Okay, so in terms of value, in terms of units, in terms of mass of molecules, in terms of atomic weight. So here one more important thing is just one more key, just if you remember we have to get a relation between these the right side concepts also, because just now we said the problems is say total mole ki units ఇవ్వాలి. So units ki weights ki ఇవ్వచ్చు or value ki units ki ఇవ్వచ్చు, means these are also interconnected. So there is also relation is present between these also. Okay, so this is about mole concept. And a total man stoichiometry lo discuss chese problems. So mole concept through try chestam. If mole concept is not looking suitable for the problems, we proceed the next method. So what is the next method? Means comparing equivalence. Comparing equivalence. So what are equivalence? We see now. So what is the second method? So second method is gram equivalence. Okay, gram equivalent or milli equivalence. Gram equivalent and also is a milli equivalent. Gram equivalence or milli equivalence. So what is the gram equivalence or milli equivalence means? So already we discussed in the redox, in the topic of normality about the gram equivalent weights. The gram equivalent weight, gram equivalent, just what is the difference means? Here gram equivalence, so equal to, so gram equivalent weights, gram equivalence equal to say molecular weight, formula weight, whatever, atom is called atomic weight. So molecular weight by equivalent weight. Equivalent weight. So this is the basic formula for gram equivalence. Ikkada gram equivalent gram equivalence different, equivalent weight difference. Equivalent weight ante simple ga ee rastam. Gram equivalence means that's also treated as a number of equivalents. So then manam number of equivalents antam. So just like number of moles, మనకి number of moles కి ఏం తీసుకుంటాం, weight by molecular weight. Same ఇక్కడ number of equivalents, so gram equivalence మనం number of equivalents అనొచ్చు. Okay, so number of equivalents equal to molecular weight by equivalent weight. Number of equivalents or gram equivalents. So in terms of grams to mention chestam kabatti it treat as a gram equivalence. So generally we can say the number of equivalents is equal to molecular weight or formula weight by equivalent weight is also called gram equivalent weight. Gram equivalence different, gram equivalent weight is different. Gram equivalent weight manam simple ga capital E to indicate chestam. Okay, already we know how to calculate the gram equivalent weight. So we have the different formulas. Equivalent weight of acid electro calculate this term. So say, so given formula weight nothing but molecular weight by, for acids it is basicity. You have to write the formulas again. Okay, because in the chapter we have to follow all formulas. So base again it's molecular weight by acidity. Next, what is the equivalent weight of salts? Equivalent weight of salts means same molecular weight, formula weight also we can write. Molecular weight by salt and తీసుకుంటాం charge units. Charge units, it may be positive or negative. Actually positive or negative same charges plus 2 ఉంటే -2 కంపల్సరీ గా ఉంటుంది salt లో. So just write the charge units. Next, so equivalent weight of element. So equivalent weight of elements ki unnappudu manaki elements kabatti we follow atomic weight. So atomic weight by its valency. So next see. Also very important one, equivalent weight of oxidants and reductant. Oxidant. So oxidant means it is oxidizing agent. So oxidizing agent means it oxidizes the other compounds. Oxidants can reductant and common rastam. Equivalent weight of oxidant or a reductant is equal same formula weight or molecular weight by. So oxidant reductant, so it is based on gaining of electrons or losing of electrons. Okay, so if oxidant, so oxidizing agent ante so itself it is reduced means gaining of electrons. Reducing agent means it reduces the other compounds. It reduces the other compound means itself it is oxidized. Itself it is oxidized means it losing of electrons. And oxidant reductant law, which property is comparable ante gaining and losing of electrons. So here we can write. So you have to write the formulas clearly in the introduction part. So equal to number of electron transfer, number of electrons loosed or gained. Okay, oxygen simple transfer another. Okay, number of electron transferred. Okay, so oxidant ki reductant ki oxidant ki gaining or losing elastom. So these are the different formulas to calculate the equivalent weight. So equivalent weight calculate this thing. So molecular weight by equivalent weight, again we will get number of equivalents. Next, what about this milli equivalence? So milli equivalence means so it is the very important concept which we are using in this chapter. Okay, so mole concept problems very simple. So equivalent weight calculation already we done in normality, but the milli equivalence it's already just we discussed the definition at the topic of normality, but we not done any problems based on it. But in this stoichiometry chapter, we do the many problems based on this milli equivalence. We compare the milli equivalence of reactants. Okay, for example, if you take a redox reaction is kunte, so there is oxidation takes place and reduction takes place. So oxidation ki which is responsible oxidizing agent, so reduction ki which is responsible reducing agent. So here acid base reactant ni అనుకోండి. Okay, acid base reaction అయితే అక్కడ ఏం ఫామ్ అవుతుంది, న్యూట్రలైజేషన్ సాల్ట్ ప్లస్ వాటర్ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. అక్కడ మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెంట్ ఆఫ్ యాసిడ్స్ ఈజ్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఈక్వల్ టు ద మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ బేస్. అంటే ఒక యాసిడ్ ఎంత బేస్తో రియాక్ట్ అయింది అంటే మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెంట్ ఆఫ్ యాసిడ్ ఈక్వల్ మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెంట్ ఆఫ్ బేస్. సో దాంతో మనకి యాసిడ్ బేస్కి కంపారిజన్ అంటే హౌ మచ్ యాసిడ్ రియాక్ట్ విత్ హౌ మచ్ బేస్. సేమ్ ఇన్ ద రిడాక్స్ రియాక్షన్స్ మనకు ఆక్సిడైజింగ్ ఏజెంట్ రెడ్యూసింగ్ ఏజెంట్, milli equivalent of oxidizing agent equal milli equivalent of reducing agent. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఆక్సిడైజింగ్ ఏజెంట్ ఏంటి, రెడ్యూసింగ్ ఏజెంట్స్ ఏంటికి, సో వాటి మధ్యన విచ్ రిలేషన్ ఈజ్ ప్రెజెంట్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ మాస్ కావచ్చు, వాల్యూమ్ కావచ్చు, వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ ఈస్. ఓకే, వీ కెన్ ఐడెంటిఫై దెమ్. నౌ వి సీ వాట్ ఆర్ మిల్లీ ఈక్వివలెన్స్. యాక్చువల్గా వీ హ్యావ్ ఏ ఫార్ములా టు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద మిల్లీ ఈక్వివలెన్స్. Milli equivalence equal to normality into volume. It must be in milliliter. Okay, అంటే ఒక సొల్యూషన్కి ఒక ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ హెచ్సిఎల్ సొల్యూషన్కి వాట్ ద మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెన్స్ అంటే టోటల్ ద నార్మాలిటీ ఇంటూ ఇట్స్ టోటల్ వాల్యూమ్ ఇన్ మిల్లీలీటర్స్. ఓకే, నార్మల్ లీటర్స్లో క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తే నార్మాలిటీ, కానీ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ మిల్ లీటర్స్ తీసుకొని ఇంటూ నార్మాలిటీ చేస్తే దట్ విల్ ఈక్వల్స్ మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెన్స్. ఇన్ ద షార్ట్ కట్ జనరల్లీ వి రిటన్ యాజ్ మిల్లీ ఈక్వివలెన్స్. ఓకే, ఇట్స్ కాల్డ్ మిల్లీ ఈక్వివలెన్స్. సో మిల్లీ, సో దీని ఏం చేయండి, మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెన్స్ ఈక్వల్ టు నార్మాలిటీ ఇంటూ వాల్యూమ్ ఇన్ milliliter. So what is the importance of this milli equivalent concept is in a neutralization reaction So what is neutralization reaction? The reaction between acid and base. The reaction between acid and base forming salt and water. The reaction between acid and base forming salt and water is called neutralization reaction. So for the neutralization reaction, if you apply the milli equivalence concept, so we can write milli equivalence of acid is exactly equal to milli equivalence of base. So simply we got the relation between the acid and base which are undergone neutralization reaction. Next, in a redox reaction, so actually we have many problems based on redox reactions. So redox reactions means we know that redox reaction means reaction between oxidizing agent and reducing agent. Means nothing but the reaction having both oxidation and reduction reactions. Okay. So in a redox reactions, now we can write the milli equivalence of oxidizing agent is equal to milli equivalence of reducing agent okay. So these are the two methods. One is based on mole concept we proceed the problems. So simple method. So the method mole concept method lo manaki idea undalsindi 1 mole equal how many particles, 1 mole equal what is the volume, what is the mass of molecules, what is the mass of atoms. So 1 mole ki relation కాకుండా సో అక్కడ weights కి values కి weight కి relation, weight కి values కి relation, so units ki number of units ki weight ki relation we have to remember. So the second concept ఏంటంటే comparing milli equivalence of acid equal milli equivalent of base, milli equivalent of oxidizing agent equal milli equivalent of reducing agent in a given reaction. So ఈ mole concept milli equivalence or equivalence ఈ two methods తోనే we do the problems in this chapter. But before we start the chapter, we do some calculations on the how to find out the number of moles and how to find out the equivalent weight. ఇక్కడ GEW రాష్ట్రం కదా, GEW means gram equivalent weight, equivalent very equivalent weight there. So we do some calculations on it. Okay. So first thing, so find the number of moles. Find the number of moles in 20 grams of calcium carbonate. Okay, simple. So what is the formula for number of moles? So you remember that. So number of moles equal to, so always weight by gram molecular weight. So therefore number of moles weight 20 grams molecular weight, with 100, so that is 0.2 moles. Means we need to remember the molecular weight of compounds. Like for example, to find the number of molecules, just I am taking the same example because you will get an idea to compare the different units. So find the number of molecules in 20 grams of calcium carbonate. Okay, so 20 grams. So ఇక్కడ మనకి 20 grams ఇచ్చిండు, మాస్ ఇచ్చిండు. We have to find the number of molecules. సో మనం మోల్స్ లో కంపేర్ చేసి ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఆల్రెడీ we know 0.2 moles. సో మోల్స్ లో కంపేర్ చేసి 1 mole equal to అవగాడ్రో నెంబర్. What is for 0.2 moles క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయొచ్చు. బట్ ఇక్కడ మనం అన్నిటి ప్రతిసారి మోల్స్ తో కంపేర్ చేయకుండా సో ఆల్రెడీ we have a relation. సో మనం లెఫ్ట్ 1 mole కి రిలేషన్ చూసినాం. నెక్స్ట్ రైట్ సైడ్ లో ఉన్న కాంపౌండ్స్ కి సో రైట్ సైడ్ లో ఉన్న కాన్సెప్ట్స్ కూడా we know the relation. So మనకి we know in terms of mass and molecule ki relation ఏంటిది. So we have a relation that molecular weight equals Avogadro number. Molecular weight equals 6.022 into 10 power 23 molecules. So this is the relation. So molecular weight అంటే మనకి 100 grams calcium carbonate. So 100 grams equals 0.6.022 10 power 23 molecules. Then what about 20 grams? So multi moles to tell us also level. So have to do the problem directly. So 100 grams. So molecular weight is okay. So it's simply we can write. So 10 squares will become 10 power 21. Okay. So just cancel this also, I think. So get one this cancel it. Okay. So 10 power 22. Okay. So then 10 power 22 molecules of calcium carbonate. So next so you can find the number of atoms. Find the number of atoms in 20 grams of calcium carbonate. So again 20 grams of calcium carbonate we have to find the number of atoms. So so number of atoms is we have to compare atomic weight, but it is given molecule ki ichina manaki. So molecular weight ki atomic weight etla compare chestam. So ikkada first see the number of molecules find out cheddam. Number of molecules find out cheste then after we will get the number of atoms. For example, if you get one molecule వచ్చిందనుకో, so one molecule ఎన్ని atoms ఉన్నాయి, 1 calcium 1 carbon 3 oxygen 3 4 5 అంటే one molecule having 5 atoms. అట్లా ఎన్ని molecules వస్తాయి into 5 చేస్తే we will get the number of atoms. So I will have a formula that to calculate the number of atoms. So number of atoms ఇస్తే యాక్చువల్గా మనకి 2 formulas ఉన్నాయి. Number of atoms is the atomic weight. Sorry. So ఇక్కడ మనం molecules ఇచ్చింది కాబట్టి we find the number of moles. Number of moles into Avogadro number into number of atoms in one molecule. Just now we said so ఎన్ని మోల్స్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తాం. సో మోల్స్ వేసుకొని ఇంటూ అవగాహన నెంబర్ చేస్తే మాలిక్యూల్స్ వస్తాయి. సో ఇక్కడ 1 molecule కి 5 atoms ఉన్నాయి. సో టోటల్ ఎన్ని మాలిక్యూల్స్ వస్తాయో ఇంటూ 5 రాస్తే we will get that atoms. So the number of atoms ki number of moles so weight by molecular weight, the number of moles into Avogadro number. So this value gives number of molecules. Okay, number of molecules atoms or number of atoms in one molecule. This is calcium 1 carbon 1 3 oxygen, total 5. Okay, Now 5 get cancelled. So again here answer is 6.022 into 10 power 23 atoms. So in these atoms, how many calciums are there, how many carbons are there, how many oxygens are there? So separate calculate calcium. They must take in 1:1:3 ratio. So see one more question. Find the volume of 20 grams of calcium carbonate. So actually మనకి calcium carbonate తీసుకున్నాం because it is present in solid state. So actually gaseous state కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు. Main gaseous state యూజ్ చేయాలి. But అన్ని problems the total problems we done for 20 grams of calcium carbonate కాబట్టి we are also doing this problem with same values. So at a state we know that molecular weight. So for any compounds, molecular weight equal how many liters? 22.4 liters means 100 grams of calcium carbonate. Why are taking 100 grams means calcium carbonate molecular weight 100 grams. So 100 grams equal to 22.4 liter for any irrespective of the gas or any compound. So for 20 grams how much? 5, okay. Is equal to, so 4.6. So this is 4.48 liters. Okay. Okay, these are the problems based on mole concept. Today we see some more problems on mole concept. But try to practice the mole concept lesson.